Don't blink, it's your blank. Welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well because I'm having a wonderful day on this 31st, technically 30. It is midnight and a half. Not midnight and a half. It is 12:30 p.m. We're still on the day of the 30th. So we're gonna pretend it's the 30th. I hope you guys are ready. I'm excited. That's why I'm so unfocused. That's why I'm so weird because what we're going this it's gonna be amazing. We're gonna be reading from 51 to 55 of Tokyo Ghoul. Get ready. I can't wait. Let's get right into it. So the 51 is so fucking good. You can see me reading here because we took some notes. So if you see me looking there, looking at notes, we have the truth. We have the truth of the nest, right? So we remember that at this last chapter they took Ken. What I really enjoy about this chapter is it's Ayato, and Ayato is a dick, and then he's literally telling Ken, and you remember how Tuka used to be. So he's like, yeah, you're like his sister, which is kind of cool because their mentality couldn't be different. We're gonna see why in this chapter, but their mentality couldn't be different, and him referring to or thinking about the resemblance is like blood is thicker than water, which is really I like it a lot. Okay, we got to we got the Ayato, and he kind of explained what the nest is trying to do. We heard about the one high king. The really cool thing is Ken heard about a one high ghoul, so it could be the one high king, but we are not sure yet. So Ayato was talking about how the nest and the way the nest is those ghouls are in power. And what is so beautiful about the nest? What is so heartbreaking, the incredible part about the nest, they don't care about the human, they don't care about the goal. They want to rule with power. They want to create a society where they get the rules. Human, if they deserve to live, if they're chill, they're gonna be okay. The ghoul, if they deserve to live, they're gonna chill. And it's kind of like a dictatorship. It's a dictatorship of if you fuck with us, we're gonna fuck back, right? But the cool thing here, and I know what you're saying, dictator isn't it's never cool, and you're absolutely right. But what is going on right now in this world is the dove are constantly hunting the ghouls. And we're gonna see some rules that are set after, which is kind of cool. But yeah, the hunts are constantly being hunted, and it's not a safe place. Most of them are dying of hunger. Most of them are living in ghettos. Most of them are living in makeshift tents. So yeah, it's really sad. So even if that dictatorship brings a bit of equilibrium, even though you're following a leader, that's what it is. Sometimes what a society needs, what a team needs, what a company needs is a good leader. What a good leader, it's chaos. And with chaos comes what? Trouble. That's 51st, and it's kind of cool because I cannot help but think about Magneto. Magneto is kind of the same way. Magneto is the nest is very inspired by Magneto. It's not inspired by Magneto, but it's very similar to Magneto. So Magneto is like, okay, well, in the next step of evolution, there's mutants. The goal, the next step of evolution could be ghoul. We don't know yet, and the mutants are being prosecuted, but they're in the next step. So why are they being prosecuted? So Magneto goal isn't to kill all human, isn't to enslave all human, but it's to put the mutant at the place of power, which is Magneto goal, which is the tree goal. Get it? Good. Really good. So we learned that they're after Rize, right? It's super cool because we have the character we introduce. So it's very important character. We introduce Jason, which for the story is amazing. Ayato, not really, kind of, not really. Jason is possibly the antagonist. So in the quest of protagonist in Tokugo, forget about Ri, focus on Tokugo. In the protagonist, you have a lot. In the protagonist, you have Nishi, who will teach a lot. There have Antiku, there's Tuka, that teach a lot to Ken, right? But in the antagonist, there's two, and I'm going to spoil it for you. The two antagonists that really matters for Ken, I'm not going to say whom, I'm not going to say why they matter. I'm going to say who, but not why. It's Rize and it's Jason. You're going to understand why, and it's really going to push you. Okay, so we learned that they're after Rize. Ken is being brought back in front of a leader of the nest, and he's saying all the nest. And the cool thing is, now that I'm reading them kind of fast, this scene reminded me of the gourmet, and the gourmet was a traumatic experience for Ken. So I wonder if he was traumatized by the fact that there's so many ghouls. And it's weird because he's a ghoul too, so technically he should be safe, right? And then they think that he's Rize, and we learn, and the simple reason why Really so important is the nest is about to go against the dove. So we already saw that in the 11th district. So they're gonna go against the dove, and they need all of the strong ghouls they can get. And Rize was on a league of her own, so they wanted Rize. They learned that she died. The nest, what you're gonna see in this very video, is how informed the nest is, and to a certain degree, the nest is so well informed. And there's a part of this very chapter that it says, how come we know so much when you know so little? Do you think that you were told everything at Antiku? Which is amazing. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, they were asked to Rize, but they see the can is useless, so they say, what a waste. 52. Now let's go to the first one, but we have the fight in Attiku, which is Jason versus Ken. Jason is a beast. He beats Ken, and it's really cool because Jason, how can I say that? Jason is one of my favorite ghoul. Definitely my favorite Nest member. In the Nest, and the leader of the Nest, Jason is my favorite without a doubt. There's not even one close to him. But when you think about his character, there's a lot of things that he does that are not super important. They end up becoming important, but the fact that he does, it's a really good behind the scene character. He did this, okay, so that leads to that. He did this, that leads to that. But in purpose, when you first hear about it, so for example, the single reason that Ken is a ghoul, Jason was involved, right? Now the anime they'll show you right away, but in the manga they won't tell you. Okay, I'm gonna say more. If you want to know, read it. If you want to know more, watch the first 10 minutes of episode number 1. You'll get it. So we have Ayato and versus Tuka, and right away we're seeing that they have the same power. We remember that we're seeing that in this chapter, that in this video a lot. The RC, they have the same Kagune, which is peculiar, but then you remember that the daughter Inami had the same Kagune as her mom and dad. It was a combine. So it makes sense. Talk about the father. Now, I'm going to give you guys a big ass spoiler. So Ayato and Tuka are brothers and sister. Their mother died. I don't remember why. I don't remember if they're twin or not. I don't remember. But I know they're brothers and sister, that's for sure. Their father died. Their father was killed by the dove, trying to protect them. There was 2 ways. The problem with the father was always, hey, don't fight, don't fight, don't fight. It's okay. And the father was in a position where he was going to get discovered, but it's like, no, I'm gonna be peaceful. So he died, and then Tuka and Ayato became orphan. Now Tuka, this is fucking beautiful. Tuka saw the kindness of the father as power. She was like, my father was a really kind man. I'm gonna become kind. I'm gonna live peacefully. Now if I have to defend myself, I'll defend myself. If I have to kill, I'll have to kill, but I will not kill for pleasure. Ayato saw the death of his dad as weakness. My father was too weak. I have to do everything I can to be different from my father. So Ayato kills. Ayato doesn't give a fuck. Ayato isn't kind, right? And it's kind of nice because they all stem from the same traumatic experience. I'm watching a movie, a show called Dexter. And Dexter had a brother. And Dexter is a killer. So Dexter is a killer disguised as a cop, or a killer who ends up being a cop also. And he has a brother, and they're both killer. And when you understand why they're both killer, they both stem from the same experience. Now, technically, Dexter had a role model who ended up being Harry, his father, adopted father, who creates a code. It is very similar. Tuka went to Antiku. Antiku gave her a code to follow, a way of living life peacefully, and she respected it. Ayato went with goals. And what is really cool is Tuka, when she went to Antiku, she learned to view the world, the human side, so cohabiting with human. And Ayato, it's really interesting. Fucking interesting. Ayato is like, okay, I'm gonna go with strong goals. So he goes with strong goals, and he ends up in one of the best position ever. See, most of the goals. So the thing with Tokyo Ghoul is, we're gonna see this in this video, I promise. Most ghouls are weak, right? Because you need to feed to get the Chikabune strong. But there's multiple reasons why they're weak, right? So most of the ghouls are weak. Ayato, and most of those ghouls, because they're weak, they're afraid. Ayato followed a bunch of strong ghouls that were not afraid, that was proud to say, we're fucking ghouls, you know? We are the next part of survival. So Hayato has learned to see the world through the lens of a ghoul. This is our world. We have to fight, otherwise we'll be killed. We'll be hunted. So it's a really nice perception, and it's really cool to see. Again, it's a vision of, I don't know if you guys know about the Darwin. So Darwin was a scientist who discovered the law of genetics, the law of the strong survive. So in Darwin's mind, it was super easy. He took giraffes, right? Giraffes, and they had this long tree, right? In the beginning, all the giraffe ate at the bottom, right? That's the way it is. Then the leaf didn't appear anymore, so the giraffe with a shorter neck died, and then the giraffe with longer necks were able to feed, so they survived. So now what do we have? We have giraffe with long necks. Banana. There used to be multiple sort of brand of banana. Then there was a parasite that killed all the banana except for one. Understand? So Darwin is often seen as the father of evolution. He's often seen as why we are the way we are, why we understand the way we are. Darwinism is a forefather and everything that is, again, evolution. And Darwinism study was a horrible one. So because of that, we had and it's slavery. And I talk about slavery a lot. I'm not okay with it. But in slavery, what they would do is they would take the strongest person they could, right? They would have one woman, okay? And that woman would have kids with the strongest. So always having stronger kids. That's why the Darwinism was at the core of this, was the core study for this, right? You see a bull, you see a horse, and when they're a really good racer, they'll sell the sperm. They did the same thing with slave. So 53, incredible. The 53 right now is the moment where Tokyo Ghoul is amazing. Tokyo Ghoul might have a slow start, but the pacing is so fast that every single moment you're like constantly thinking, like, holy shit, I can't believe that's happened. There's a chapter here, right? There's a chapter here. The slowest chapter is a complete description of every single person in Kagune. That's the slowest chapter. So we have the explanation, exactly this one. So we have the explanation of the RC. If you guys remember, we had this with the gourmets. You guys remember, we had this 10 chapters ago. So again, with the explanation of RC. Well, only on paper. So now we have the Dove version of it. The Dove who studied it. The Dove who really have an understanding. The gourmet, although he's very cultivated, doesn't have the elaborate planning of the Dove or the government or an organization. Doesn't have the documentary that everybody has. I was reading something about the Halloween, the event that led to Halloween, the origin of Halloween, and they were saying how people didn't write about the origin. They didn't write. So the ghoul won't write about the Kagune, about the Ursi. So we have this very precise. So, for example, which type is strong, which type, what they're doing, what they're good at, what their weakness is, why are they strong versus each other. And ultimately speaking, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if a dove fights a ghoul. It doesn't matter. But if a ghoul fights another ghoul, yeah. We have the 54. We have the manga freaking gold. We have Ayato, who gives a violent explanation of Agori. So basically, we're back with Ken, and they kidnap Ken to go to the nest. So they're really beating him up, and then that's when he said, I made a mistake. Some of the things that I said in 51 are in 54. Because I read the 5 of them together. We have the captain, right? The captain again of the nest, and it's weird because it's a captain. Then you realize that he's not the king. So the nest is divided by branch, which is again similar to the Gold 13, but it's a government, and the government of Ghoul who wants power, right? Which is really cool. We have the captain. We have again the explanation that they needed Rize, right? And there's a big revelation in there. There's a huge revelation in there. Kano, and they're saying Kano was not working for us, but was one of us. He did some study and then he ran away. And Kano, he did on purpose to put the organ. And then he said something to Kaneki, which is crazy. So Ken, he was injured. So the reality is Ken wasn't injured at all. So the killing was a steel beam fell upon Rize. Right? Because of that, we think that Ken is also a victim of that. But the only wound that Ken had the only wound that he had was a really tentacle going inside of him, right? So, and on paper, they gave him a new organ to replace the one that she pierced. But what are they planning? And it's not written. It's not written. Okay, this is me telling you as a person that read the manga multiple times. So they're saying Kano is a lot more dangerous. He said he knew that you were half a ghoul. He noticed that you're Earthy level, right? He didn't only put in. He didn't only put in a organ inside you. It doesn't say to Ken what did he put, but it just so happened that the chapter before we had an explanation of where the Kagune came from. What is the body explanation to reacting or to creating a Kagune? So it is believe I believe that he also put the Kagune or the Kauku. The Kauku is the organ that creates the Kagune, right? That's pretty much it. There's a really cool reveal here, and it's crazy because the Nest knows a lot, and there's this really cool hint, and again, it's intended, it's not guaranteed, it's alleged that the old man also knew about Ken and about the doctor, and the old man chose not to tell Ken. So in this version of the facts, the old man was trying to approach to baby Ken, or was trying to hide the truth from Ken. Right? And what I love about this, it's not necessarily against the old man. It's like, yo, this guy didn't tell you the truth. We'll tell you the truth. Come with us. You understand? We have the 55, which is a bit boring, but it's basically the planning for escape. It's pretty simple stuff. They're saying, okay, well, there's a couple of leaders. That's when they're leaving. That's when it's safe to escape. What is cool is we have Banjo once again being one of the weak but very kind ghoul. They're seeing Ken as reliable, which is crazy because Ken doesn't see himself as reliable. But the reality, and that's again alleged. There's a lot of it alleged right now. It's alleged that Ken is some sort of fucking hero already to these people, because Ken has the power and the strength of Rize. The difference was Rize was a bitch. Rize was really mean. If you asked for help, she would have killed you. Ken will help you. Ken has the same strength of Rize, but will help you. So already Ken is seen as a hero because he has the potential to help versus somebody that can do shit. They're planning to escape, and that is we have again the reputation of the one eye king mentality, right? And then the dove, we see the dove. We're seeing three of the really good dove. We're seeing Amon and we're seeing Juzzle. They're going to the District 11 to have a secret mission, and that is pretty much it. So pretty good chapters, not amazing. Really good moving on with the story. The Tokyo Ghoul technically has 138 chapter, and the Tokyo Ghoul Complete has 333 chapters. So it's going fast, but it's going well. Anywho, I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.